This is my Hamilton Beach stand mixer. I recently purchased this item from Amazon. I previously had a KitchenAid. The problem with the KitchenAid was that I make quite a lot of bread, and at one point in time in here in the KitchenAid there are gears that grind up against each other, and those gears, the teeth on them broke off because the bread apparently is too difficult for the KitchenAid to handle, which wasn't too big of a deal because I fixed it very cheaply by ordering the parts and watching some YouTube videos on how to fix it. It wasn't that difficult. It did take several days for the parts to arrive and things of that nature, but it was easy to fix. Unfortunately, the parts that were sent to me were of the same material as the parts that were originally in it, and it broke again about 2 months later. So I got really upset and decided to buy a Hamilton Beach, which is highly rated and supposed to be able to make bread very well and cause no problems. And on top of that, it costs about $80 to get the Hamilton Beach and a 4-year warranty coverage. So if it breaks, I can get it fixed or replaced. And notice that it's up at an angle. This is fixed by simply pushing this button. Oops, it was a little louder than I expected. So it comes down very easily, and also it will go up, but it does require both hands to have it go up. The silver knob is the speed indicator. It goes all the way up to 6 different speeds. Does not have as many speed selections as the KitchenAid, but I'm fine with that as long as it doesn't break when I'm making bread. It also has an interesting feature that I noticed, that if you turn it backwards, it'll go slow just for a second, for as long as you pull it. So you don't have to actually click it into place and leave it. For some reason, if you wanted to turn it just a tiny bit, you could turn it just a tiny bit. So, interesting feature. I thought that was nice. One thing about the bowl that some people might find annoying is it doesn't have a handle. The KitchenAid has a rather large side handle, very convenient for holding. But for me, I've got rather large hands, and I don't have a problem with holding the bowl with one hand while getting the dough out into whatever instrument of baking that I need to get it into. So it's not an issue for me, but I thought I might mention it. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to need to do is put the bowl in. You'll notice it's got these little knocks in the bottom. It's very simple. I can actually do it with one hand. You just simply put it in there and twist it to the left, and it's firmly attached. The Hamilton Beach has suction cups on the bottom, keeps it firmly in place, and it wobbles just a tiny bit, but it doesn't walk across the table like I've heard that some stand mixers will do. You place these different application, I guess, mixer heads in. They're very simple. I can do it with one hand. Just put these little wings in the little slots, and it's there. Very easy. Alright, so here it is with the dry and wet ingredients together in it. This is an Italian bread recipe that I have. So basically it's flour and liquids. There's a lot more liquid in this bread than there are in some others. And for this recipe, I believe there's a 1.25 cups of liquid and about 4 cups of flour. And we'll mix it and see what happens. Alright, I've just started mixing. It's on 2. And we'll come back here in a couple of minutes when it's really well mixed together. But as you notice, it's not really walking around very much. You can hear it, so it's kind of loud, but it's not overpowering. And I'll time it to see how long it takes to get all the way mixed. Here we are 30 seconds later. Still going. This is in about 2 minutes. Still at level 2. And you notice it's slowing down at certain places as it gets through really heavy parts. But it's still going, and it's not breaking. And it does a good job of getting all the bits and pieces off the bottom and the top, which was, again, the problem that I had with the KitchenAid. And it's not sticking very much to the bread hook this time. I've noticed that in the past that sometimes it does stick quite heavily to the bread hook. But we'll see if that is a trend that's going to continue or not. Alright, I'm just about done. This is about 5 minutes of mixing. As you see, it has heavy points where it slows down and almost stops, but it keeps going. And it's thoroughly mixed at this point. You'll also notice there's not much wiggling and not a whole bunch of really loud noises. And here it is out of the bowl. You notice it is kind of stuck to the hook. But if you also notice, it's very slowly falling off. I think I can pretty much get it off with my fingers without any problems. And that's it. French dough. One of the things I was worried about with this was whether or not it was going to get all the dry material off the bottoms and edges, and it seems to have done an excellent job. One thing that people might be concerned about is that this medium tool that they've got here is plastic. I don't really foresee a problem with that, but it's obviously just not going to be as strong as a full metal one. And all the things that go into the Hamilton Beach that you receive in the original package, including the bowl, are dishwasher safe, which was not true with the Professional 600 that I had formerly.